Hello, and what is good, people of the internet? Thank you for tuning back in to Breaking the Syllabus, the podcast where we rip the lesson plans and say the things that need to be said in education. I'm your host, Tyler Powell, and with me today is Randy Phillips. So before we dive into that, I want to talk about kind of the home run, singles, errors, and strikeouts. So this week, my single, we hit, nice base hit. We actually were discussing with the math team about a few ideas we could change for next year. It was great, something that we really, really needed, and I got some new ideas. Now, my home run this week, very controversial topic, it is state testing. So what happened is I've had some students who've improved greatly, and I can see their confidence gained. On the other hand, I've also had the opposite, but maybe later. Now, my error this week is before the RISE test, we had some time, we finished our curriculum, we were doing some review games, and surprise, students got burnt out of review games. After a week and a half for review games, they're like, I'm done. This sucks. I'm over it. So that was one of those things I got to figure out my better timing for next year. And my strikeout. It was a big swing and a miss. I dropped the ball. It was awful. I tried to have the students sit where I think they'd be good for state testing. They always surprise me. 2 students today, I had to tell one student, if you turn around again, you will be in lunch detention. They are frequent flyers lunch detention, so they knew what I was talking about. All right, now let's dive back into our special guest today. So a little about Randy Phillips, aka Mrs. Phillips Science. She has been a teacher for 4 years, not 3, for 4 years, and accomplished some great things. Her and her team in 2024 won the Outstanding Middle School Science Department in the state of Utah, and she also has a growing presence in the social media game. So, Randy, welcome. Also, I'd like to ask you, how was your first year of teaching? What was it like?
It was a blur. So I just got married. I was just asked to be on student council, to be their sponsor for student council. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was like, sure, why not? I had long-term sub like the whole year before, so I kind of knew the kids a little bit. So I was like, well, how bad could it be? Terrible.
Sorry about that. We got interrupted. So, first year teaching, you're running student council, you had no idea what you're doing. Keep going.
Okay. And then I was pregnant just a few months into it, so I was exhausted. Looking back on it, it was kind of a blur. Like, I loved every minute of it, but I think I slept for a good 3 days straight right after the school year was over.
I think that's pretty common to teachers. You hit that first day off and you're like, all right, kids, go to the grandparents' house. We're going to just take a quick siesta.
Yeah, lots of screen time.
So was your first year of teaching COVID then, or was it the year after?
It was the year after. So the year that I was doing long-term subbing, the year before, then it was COVID.
Okay.
Times.
All right. We can't ever forget that.
No.
Student council. So do you feel that your first year teaching when doing student council, do you feel you got a little burnt out, or was there just enough responsibility you didn't really have to worry about it?
I wasn't given very much guidance in it, and all of a sudden the vice principal at the time was like, oh, by the way, did you know that you had to do this? And I was like, I had no idea that was a thing. Like, remember, I just got here. And so they were it was more structured than I think it would have normally been in a student council, because I didn't know what was going on. So she did most of the work, and then I just kind of took, I kind of took over what she would just tell me what to do. So definitely got burnt out, I think, because it was my first year and that. But
so are you saying your targets and objective weren't clearly stated to you?
Weird.
All right. So what made you want to go into teaching? What was like the big moment that you're like, because some people are like me, I was like, I'm never going to go and do it. Never, never, never. And here I am. So what made you decide to go into this adventurous field?
I honestly fell in love with my science classes in college. I loved having that light bulb moment. I was in college going in for marketing, and then I was in science classes just for the general classes, and I fell in love with it. And then I had already coached high school swimming, and so I kind of combined the two of coaching and science and mashed them into science teaching.
You guys heard the last one. Is she a teacher coach or a coach teacher? You'll have to go back and listen to find out. All right, so sounds like fun. So you were kind of a nerd in college or something?
Oh, absolutely. Still am.
All right, so what is your most embarrassing moment as a teacher? Is there something that you just shook your head to? And I will share one of mine after you get on with yours, but mine's a little risky. The students took it the wrong way, and ever since then, it's something I'm like, I can never forget I can't make this mistake ever again.
Yeah, mine's not risky. So like I said, my first year I was pregnant. So by the end of the school year, I was due like 2 weeks after the school year ended. So by the end of the school year, I was big. I went to reach under a table and I fell over like on my back. And I want you to imagine like a roly-poly, like stuck on their back, like I could not get up. And so 3 boys had to like end up pulling me off of the floor. And I guess maybe it's not too embarrassing, but in the moment I went to the corner and kind of hid and cried a little bit because I was pregnant and emotional too. So
sponsorship on her TikTok, Life Alert maybe? You never know. Same just in there. All right, so mine, if I had to narrow it down to one, oof. Just word slippage. The other day, oh no, this is one from this year. I was writing, we were doing probability, I was writing the word shirts down.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, you can misspell shirts if you're in a hurry. As long as you forget the R, you get students' attention.
That's true.
And I know for middle schoolers, this is the only bad word they're ever going to hear, especially that day. They've never said anything worse, but that was my one from this year. If I had to say the other one, we'll save it for another time. I'll tell you afterwards. It's pretty funny. I got to see if it's appropriate to put on here, but
yeah, that's my second one was kind of an inappropriate one of things I almost drew on the whiteboard accidentally.
Always be careful when drawing cylinders; they can go badly quickly.
And circular shapes.
Yes,
with
middle
arrows.
Schoolers,
Yes,
they're awesome. If you've ever been in a middle school class, you know what we're talking about. If not, please go sign up to be a sub for just a week, just 1 week to see what it's like. And let me tell you, you'll be listening to these and laughing more than you ever should. Oh, the fun one. So me, Randy, and a few other people that will hopefully be on the podcast too soon, we went down to a conference in Salt Lake. And if we both can't keep a straight face, we got into some good discussions. And one thing we talked about is if you could change one thing in education, what would it be? And no, it can't be the minds. I bet you when somebody else is on, we'll talk about that whole situation. That one could be like a 4-hour Joe Rogan Experience podcast, but we'll find out. So one thing in education you could change. Now, let me give you some parameters. You can't just say, make the kids want to learn. No. What is something you would actually change that doesn't involve mind control?
Mind or mind control?
Mind.
I know, I'm just kidding. It would be a big step and it would never happen, but I think allowing kids to graduate high school with, like, they just keep advancing without being good or that skill. Oh my gosh, cutting that out. If they fail a class, we still allow them to continue on. And by the time, if it happens over and over and over again, we're allowing them to graduate. They can't read, they can't do basic math, they can't do skills. So we're kind of doing them a disservice and society a disservice by allowing them to graduate. I don't know how that would work in the better, you put them by skill level and not necessarily age. I don't know, but.
So you're saying they almost like, would it be a clear set definition of timeframes, or would it be more of like a progress as you go, like kind of how some college classes, I know some people go through Western Governors where it's like, hey, take this class, you pass it, you move on.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. Like we have had a student in the last few years that we both know could graduate high school probably next year.
Kid's going to be better at math than I ever will be.
Yes. And then there's those kids like that I think we both have this year that they know they're going to move on to 8th grade. So why does it matter? So they're not going to put forth the effort. It doesn't matter if they fail. They're still going to go on to the next grade. They're still going to advance through and eventually graduate. And same as the kid that we know can graduate next year.
Yeah. Who wants to, I think, be a mechanical engineer. And let me tell you, he'll be one that I'm like, oh, see that guy that's really famous? I kind of taught him. He taught me more. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, here's a fun one. What do you want your students to know? Let me change that. I'm going to strike it. I'm going to give her a crazy one. What is something students should know to help them be successful in middle school? So maybe they could know this ahead of time. What would make something they could do or know be successful in middle school?
Do or know? I think that they can do it. They don't need their mom to do it. They don't need dad to do it. And it's okay to, I shouldn't say necessarily fail. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to feel like it's a challenge. As soon as it's a challenge, I think a lot of our kids go to mom and dad and say, oh, this class is too hard. But like, that's good for them. That's how they're going to learn. And that's how they're going to get better at everything in life. It's just that little bit of struggle. And that's okay.
Now, what about when they're struggling too much? Is that when they should ask for help, or do you think so? On that with the struggle, for asking for help, how soon do you like to let them struggle before you really jump in and kind of give them a life preserve,
I love it
or
when
rescue them swimming wise? We know she's like Olympic champion swimmer almost, but
no. I think also the self-advocacy part too, making it so they can ask for help. They can be the ones to say that they are struggling, not go around us and say to their mom and dad, and then the mom and dad are the ones coming to us. So if they really are struggling to the point, they should come to us. And I'm okay with them struggling and asking us. And I guess that goes along with, I think you were going to say parents, like it's let the kids kind of take a little bit of their responsibility of their learning. I get in elementary, they have it very structured, but middle school, let them adventure out. Let them learn that responsibility of education for themselves. Like,
yeah, because I don't think it gets much more structured than elementary school.
Yeah.
They're like on the schedule, and let me tell you, elementary school teachers, hands down, thank you for what you do.
oh,
You're awesome. We owe you a lot. Some of the things you teach them in math, though, when you teach them all these shortcuts that don't work every time, I want to punch you in the face. So just realize that sometimes I do want to physically harm you. Just so you know. All right. Which one next? All right. I asked her this question earlier, and I'm curious if she has an answer yet.
Mm-hmm.
When you become famous, even more famous, and there's a sandwich named after you, what's going to be on it?
Okay, so we talked about this when we were talking about the sandwich, and I realized that it actually describes me perfectly. It's a grilled cheese sandwich on jalapeno cheddar bread with a raspberry jalapeno jam in it. Now I say that because when I say grilled cheese, you're like, basic. This girl's basic. And that is so true. From the outside, I am so basic. But once you get to know me, you get to know those little feisty, little sassy parts about it. And there's that jalapeno, and then you take a bite and you're like, raspberry jalapeno jam. Okay. And then you get to know me, and I'm just a little bit different than your normal everyday basic.
What color is raspberry jalapeno jam? Is it like a sleeper? All of a sudden you're just like, like you get in a minivan and you punch it and there's a diesel engine, or like what is the color the same?
Of like
raspberry
yeah,
jalapeno is the same?
Yeah.
So you have no idea it's jalapenos in it until you bite into it?
Yeah.
That scares me. Sounds like bullying. All right, so talk me through what got you into, so if you guys don't know, she has a TikTok and Teachers Pay Teachers and an Etsy shop. It's been pretty fun to watch her kind of grow this business. I think you started over the summer, right? This last summer?
Yeah.
I should say you really dove into it.
Yeah. I had it before. It's been, I think, 2 years since I've been the Teachers Pay Teachers, and this past summer I started it on the Etsy and really got into the TikTok.
So walk me through what made you want to do that. I mean, obviously for the extra, Benjamins.
Benjamins are nice.
What else? What made you kind of want to dive into that?
One of our lovely coworkers here is always telling me, oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. You should share this. You should share this. So I honestly would have to thank her for it, because she's the one that really pushed me to do it. And like your beautiful stickers here, that same thing. She saw the stickers that I made, and she's like, you should make these for everybody else. And then I was like, well, maybe if everybody in the school wants them, then maybe other people in the world want them. So
that is true. Check out my social media. I'll be posting those in a link so you can go find her shop, because they are awesome. She's helping out with some good stuff. She even gave me a sticker for my door about the no soliciting unless it's Dodger merchandise. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know this yet. I got to ask her for another one because we got rid of our front door. Yeah. We upgraded. All right. Well, shout out your socials and Teachers Pay Teachers. Where can they find that? So that way they know where to go. And I'll try and link it down below. We'll see if I can figure that out. Not the smartest at that, so we'll see. So
just on Teachers Pay Teachers, Etsy, and on TikTok, it's all just one word, Mrs. Phillips Science. If you find me on TikTok, they're also linked right there.
Oh, perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. We did this wrapping up. We try to keep these short, sweet, and to the point. Thank you for being honest. Now, guys, at the end of the day, it is not about having a perfect idea or being perfect in the classroom. It's about showing up. We both are not perfect in this room, okay? We are not. I would love it if we were. It's about recognizing who you are in the classroom. Maybe you're feisty. Maybe you're super sarcastic, but it's about being you and trying to help and shape the people that are sitting in front of you. So thank you guys for showing up today and listening to this great podcast. It was awesome to have her on here. Again, if you nodded your head, rolled your eyes, shouted at your stereo, had to turn it down, went, what in this crazy guy is thinking, or what she is thinking, please, I want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Find me at Breaking the Syllabus anywhere you are on social media. We have got everything besides X because, I'm old, but maybe I don't want to deal with all that. Let me know, who should I have on next? Is there somebody you want to? I've got quite a few interviews lined up. I'm really liking this thing. So let me know. drop a comment. Hey, you should have so-and-so on. You should have so-and-so. What should we talk about next? What are some things that would be awesome to get a teacher's perspective on? Maybe a secretary, maybe just something in education that could be pushing the limits, because it's fun to push the limits. I mean, we both have 7th grade lunch together. And let me tell you, some days it's not the most appropriate, but you get some good discussions out there. So, hey, guys, don't forget to follow, rate, and share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it and or see it. Hey, this has been Breaking the Syllabus, where we say what teachers are really thinking. See you guys next time. Peace.